Hello, welcome to Unit 6, Week 1 of our reading. So today we're going to do things a little bit differently. I've got my vocabulary anchor chart set up on this side, and then we're combining the skill for the week to this video as well. So I've got my skills chart on the other side. If you want to go grab your notebook or some spare scratch paper, you can set up both of our charts so that we can do this together, okay? In my vocabulary anchor chart, I've got the same setup that we've had for the last couple of weeks. In the first column, all of our vocabulary words. The middle column will be for our quick sketches, and the last column will be for the definitions, okay? For the skills chart, you've got 3 boxes for clues, and then your final box is for the theme of the story. Theme happens to be our skill for the week. So before we left the school building, before we were doing our distance learning, we learned that theme is the heart of the story. It's the message that's being taught using a fable or a folk tale or some type of story, okay? So go ahead and get your paper, set up our charts. Let me share my screen with you so that you can see your words a little better. Okay, here are your vocabulary words if you want to write those down in your chart. Our first word is rustled. Our next word appeared. Crops, develop, edge, golden, shining, and stages. So those are our 8 vocabulary words for the week. Let me go ahead and pull up the skills anchor chart right here. So you can pause the video here to draw out your anchor chart for theme. 3 clues that will lead us to identifying the theme of the story. Okay, so the story that we're going to use to introduce our vocabulary and to introduce theme is called Why Fir Tree Keeps His Leaves. This is a myth story that's made up. We don't really have talking trees in real life, do we? All right, we will pause after each vocabulary word so that we can identify the definition using the context.
Long ago, in ancient times, Mother Nature gave each tree a different purpose. However, she did not share her reasons with the trees. Fir Tree had 3 friends: maple, oak, and elm. During the first summer, they saw bird and squirrel play in farmers' corn and tomato crops. The breeze blew and rustled their leaves. The shining sun.
Okay, so we came across our first word. It is crops. Listen to the sentence. During the first summer, they saw bird and squirrel play in farmers' corn and tomato crops. When I think of crops, I think of those big fields of corn that I see when I drive down the street. Oh gosh, Northern maybe? I don't know. When I drive down Northern, I see corn crops, and there are a whole bunch of stalks of corn. Or if you think about around Halloween time, we've got Fear Farm, and they do those corn mazes where you go through a maze full of corn. That's a crop of corn. Let me go ahead and find crops on my anchor chart right here. For my quick sketch, I'm going to try to draw some corn stalks. Oh, that marker doesn't work. There we go. And you know, they're just quick sketches. Doesn't have to be perfect. There's my corn crops. And my definition, I'm going to write a large area of planted food. A large area of planted food. Corn crops. What's my hand movement going to be for crops? I'm just going to do a whole bunch of stalks of corn. Crops, a large area of planted food. The next word we came across was rustled. The breeze blew and rustled their leaves. So if I'm thinking of wind blowing, of a breeze blowing through trees, I picture the leaves moving. And those leaves moving are the leaves being rustled. So let's see. Let's find rustled. Oh, it's the first word here. I'm going to write to move around. To move around. Miss Bernard rustled through the cabinet to find a midnight snack. Rustled, I'm moving around. Let's see, I'll draw a tree with leaves on there. There we go. And then I'll draw some wind blowing through the tree's leaves. We came across one more word. It said the sun, the shining sun warmed them. Let me think of shining. If I think of something that's shining, I'm thinking of a bright light. If I turn the lights on and I don't have a shade, maybe the light is shining in my eyes. If I go outside and it's really bright outside, the sun is shining down on me. Let's see, shining. There we go. I'm going to put a bright light. Like the sun. There's my quick sketch. There we go. Shining like a bright light, shining bright like the sun. Oh, and we didn't do rustled, moved around. There we go. Moved around, rustled. Large area of planted food, crops. Bright light shining down, shining. Let's continue the story.
And warmed them. Then the first fall arrived. Farmer harvested what he had grown. Maple, oak, and elm's leaves turned beautiful shades of orange, red, and yellow. The leaves shone as golden as the sun. Fir tree's leaves stayed green.
I'm going to pause there. We came across another word. Wow, 4 words on one page. The leaves shone as golden as the sun. If I'm thinking of the word golden, and it's comparing the color, golden color, to the sun, I'm thinking that golden might be gold in color. Let me find golden on my anchor chart. I'm going to write the definition: gold in color. And my picture is going to be a pot of gold. There we go. Hey, and gold shines, doesn't it?
Fir tree complained to Mother Nature. I don't like my leaves. I want them to change colors like my friends' leaves. Be patient, Mother Nature replied. You will learn your purpose.
Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit here. We've talked about 4 of our words. Rustled is to move around. Crops are large areas of planted food. Golden is something that's gold in color. Shining is like a bright light. Okay, we've got those 4 vocab words. Let's shift over to our anchor chart over here for the theme of the story. On this page, we've learned that there were different types of trees. There was fir tree, maple tree, oak tree, and elm tree. And during the summer, the squirrels were playing, the birds were playing, breeze rustled through the leaves, the shining sun warmed them. Okay, then fall comes. Fall comes, and maple, oak, and elm's leaves are turning beautiful shades of orange and red and yellow. The leaves are changing color because it's now autumn, it's now fall. But fir tree's leaves are still green. Fir tree was complaining to Mother Nature because He wanted his leaves to turn colors just like his friends, and he was confused. Why are my leaves not changing colors? So there's a clue to the theme of our story. Fir Tree wants to be like his friends, but Mother Nature tells him, you're going to learn your purpose, be patient, right? Let's go ahead and write that for our first clue. Fir Tree wants to be like his friends. Mother Nature tells him to be patient, that he will learn his purpose. Okay, Fir Tree wants to be like his friends. Mother Nature tells him that he will learn his purpose. There's our first clue to the theme or the heart or the message of our story. Let's continue.
So Fir Tree waited. The temperature dropped even more. Bird flew south, and Squirrel was nowhere around. Maple, oak, and elm lost their leaves, but Fir Tree's green leaves remained. Soon snow blanketed the ground. Again, Fir Tree protested to Mother Nature. Why am I different? Why don't I have stages and change like my friends? I seem to be stuck in one period of life.
So we came across our fifth word, stages. Listen to the sentence. Why don't I have stages and change like my friends? So there's a context clue in that sentence. Stages and change. So stages must mean changing periods. Okay, so if I think of stages and I think of things changing, I kind of think of like a life cycle. I'm going to draw an egg. I'm going to draw a little tadpole. I'm going to draw a little frog with the tail still. And then I'm going to draw an adult frog. Well, you know, I'm doing my best. And I think of the different stages in a life cycle. And different stages mean there's changing moments in a life cycle. So stages are changes.
Be patient, Mother Nature replied. Soon you will develop an understanding of your purpose.
Our next word is develop. Soon you will develop an understanding of your purpose. And I kind of think of developing as growing. So let me find develop. Think of a flower. A flower starts off as a seed and it grows into a flower. It develops or turns into a flower. So I'm going to start with a seed and then I'm going to show a flower. The seed develops or changes into a flower. So if something develops, it turns into something else.
Just then, Squirrel appeared on the edge of the forest. She was cold. When she went inside the forest, she saw Maple. She asked if she could build a warm nest in his branches.
Okay, so my next word is appeared. Just then, Squirrel appeared on the edge of the forest. If she appeared, she showed up. She was there. So appeared, let's see. Show up. To show up. If you showed up, you appeared. And I will draw for my quick sketch. I'm thinking of like a magician who does his magic tricks and he makes a bunny rabbit appear from his hat. I'm drawing a bunny coming out of a hat. The bunny appeared in the hat. He showed up. He's there. Our last word is edge, and I want you to think about your math vocabulary from last week. Remember, the edge was right at the tip of something. If I have a cube, the edge is right there on the end. If you're thinking of maybe the Grand Canyon and you're looking over the cliff, you're looking over the edge of the cliff, right there. I'm going to draw a canyon, there we go, and I'm going to draw someone looking right over the edge of the cliff. And they're saying, wow. There we go. Right at the edge. And I wrote the very end of something for the edge. Let me think of another clue now for my theme. So the temperature dropped. Now it's not fall anymore. It's turning into winter. Okay, everyone's cold. And all of the trees, except for Fir Tree, lost their leaves. Snow's on the ground. Fir Tree, again, he was complaining to Mother Nature. He said, why am I different? Why don't I have stages and change like my friends? I'm stuck in one period of life. All of them have lost their leaves, and I still have mine. Why am I so different? And I think that our clue can be that Fir Tree wonders why he doesn't have stages. But what does Mother Nature tell him? She says again, be patient. Let's write that down. Fir Tree wonders why he doesn't have stages. Mother Nature tells him to be patient. There we go. Fir Tree wonders why he doesn't have stages. Mother Nature tells him to be patient. Let's listen to the last page and see if we can come up with one more clue and then identify the theme of the story.
Maple said he didn't have any leaves. She asked Oak and then Elm. Both said the same thing as Maple. She was still bitterly cold. Squirrel approached Fir Tree. Excuse me, she said. May I build a nest in your branches? Yes, that would be nice, said Fir Tree. Squirrel ran up Fir Tree's branches, and she made her nest. Soon, she was warm, comfortable, and asleep. Fir Tree finally understood that his green leaves provided a warm shelter for animals in the winter. From that moment on, Fir Tree was happy to be different. Still today, he remains proud of his evergreen leaves.
Okay, so I think that our last clue, I just love this story. So Squirrel is trying to find a warm place for the winter. And she asks Maple Tree and Oak Tree and Elm Tree, and all of them say, I don't have any leaves to keep you warm. It's winter. How can I keep you warm? And then she approaches Fir Tree and she says, hey, may I build a nest in your branches? And Fir Tree finally realizes, oh my goodness, my purpose is to keep animals warm during the winter. Let's write that down for our third clue. Fir Tree is able to keep animals winter. So Fir Tree finally learns his purpose. He learns his purpose. So let's listen to all of our clues put together and figure out if we can come up with the theme of the story or the message that the story is trying to teach us. Fir Tree wants to be like his friends. Mother Nature tells him that he will learn his purpose. Fir Tree wonders why he still doesn't have stages. Mother Nature tells him, be patient. Fir Tree is able to keep animals warm during winter. He learns his purpose. And I like the last sentence, second to last sentence in the story. It says, from that moment on, Fir Tree was happy to be different. I love that sentence because that kind of tells us the theme that it is okay to be different and we all have our own purpose. And it's different than other people's, and that's okay, and that's awesome. So the theme is, it is okay to be different. There we go. It is okay to be different. I'll go ahead and take pictures of this chart and of our vocabulary chart, and I'll post them to class tags separately so that you guys can see the whole thing. You'll use this chart to help you identify the theme in another story, and then you'll use your vocabulary chart to help you memorize the definitions for all of your vocab work this week, okay? Make sure you ask if you have any questions, and I will see you all later. Bye.